We are live. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome back to Please Don't Livestream. And our celebration of 1989 continues. I have been made aware that my microphone is acting up today, so it might sound a little weird. I'm going to try to lower my voice as much as possible so as not to murder your ears. But with me, as usual, is the other person born in the greatest year of all time, Christopher.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about something a little bit heavier than last week. It's a little more serious, not as funny, but I mean it's a little funny. It's it's Oliver Stone's anti-war epic, born on the 4th of July. Starring Tom Cruise, who has an open invitation, but he hasn't responded so far. But we'll see. Maybe he pops in. But let's talk about Born on the 4th of July. And let's start with you, Christopher, since you actually haven't seen this before.
Yes.
What was your opinion of the movie? What is your opinion of Oliver Stone going into the movie?
I'm not a big fan of Oliver Stone. I mean, he's competent director. I just don't like the subject matter he makes most of the time, because it's usually very American-centric, a lot of politics and historic figures that are important for Americans but not important for everyone else, really. So I'm nothing against him. It's just not my kind of movies, and I usually stay away from them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Did we? Looks like it screwed up. Nope, it's fine. Sorry. What was I gonna say? Yes. But have you, I always picture this like a spiritual sequel, sort of, to the Platoon. I don't know. Have you seen that one with Charlie Sheen?
Oh yeah. Platoon I've seen.
Yeah.
That's not Oliver Stone, right? Or is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah.
He wrote it. I don't remember if he directed it. I think he directed it.
Okay. Yeah. Because that one, it was a while ago. It was like several years ago. I was going through Vietnam movies, just going through them because I was very tired of the Second World War movies.
Yeah.
And then I found that there's a whole other genre of war movies.
Yeah.
Which for me new, and I was going through them, like Platoon and Deer Hunter and Full Metal Jacket. So,
yeah.
I saw Platoon in that thing.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I saw a bunch of Vietnam movies. Yeah, in ninth grade or something. I was still in elementary school. Because I remember a teacher of mine actually recommended Platoon. So I saw Platoon. I saw Apocalypse Now, Deer Hunter, Born on the 4th of July. So that's when I saw that. But yeah, I don't know. I like the movie. Oh, I gotta think of that microphone. Damn it. But I don't know. I think what I prefer Platoon, I should say, of those two.
Oh, yeah,
definitely. And I think what I prefer with Platoon is that it is less political. It focuses more on the soldier. Well, its only focus is on the soldiers in the actual war, while Born on the 4th of July focuses more on what happens with soldiers when they return, especially from the Vietnam War, which was a very, very special war. It's not like World War II or like modern wars. It was different, because it wasn't. It was a war they didn't really have to wage, sort of like now, but even worse. So. And they reflect that in the movie. They think they're going into battle like their fathers and grandfathers to protect this country, but when they return, they're treated like shit because they fought in a bad war, basically. All wars bad, but this one in particular. So it becomes more propagandist. like he's trying to like tell us that, oh, the Vietnam War was bad, and it's like that's an important thing to mention, but it's also like we already know that this movie came out like 20 years after the war had ended, even more maybe.
Yeah, that was a feeling I got from the movie. Like most of these stories, yeah, it's important stories to tell, but we all already know them. I don't know how common knowledge it was back then in '89.
Might not have been as much, yeah.
No, but I figured it must have been because after all the protests and all these things, Watergate and all those things. I mean, it had to be known how bad.
It is known.
Not yeah, not only how bad the war was, but also how bad the veterans were treated and the situation between the veterans and the what do you say, the people who stayed home.
Protesters.
Protesters. Yeah. So I was thinking that it didn't feel like a necessary movie. But I did change my mind just at the finish line, just at the end of the movie, because I wasn't a big fan of the movie throughout the entire thing.
Okay.
I thought it was okay. It was competent, as always with Oliver Stone. It's competent. It's good filmmaking. Nothing special, but it's good. And I think but I thought the story and the subject matter was kind of boring, and I knew where it was going. It was very obvious, everything. But just at the end, it clicked for me what the movie actually was about.
Okay.
Because I saw the movie as a movie, we follow a character through his life, and he changes on the way, and the classic how a movie structure is made.
Yeah.
But at the end, I realized, I don't know if that was the intention, but that's what I got, that this isn't really a movie. This is a snapshot of history. That this shows how the state of America was at that time, and then we follow a character because we need to follow someone through it. But we see all the facets and all the parts of how the state of America was during this war. And if you see it from that point of view, then it's a good movie, I'd say.
Yeah, and it definitely feels that way. That they kind of jump. They make like these jumps in time, like from when he's at the hospital to when he comes home again. It feels like there's been a significant jump in time, and also after living at home, and when the scene where he screams at his mom.
Yeah.
Huge Rick beat his mom. Then it just cuts to Mexico like a year later.
Yeah.
And I think it's they want to show the journey that a like disgraced soldier had to go on when he came home.
But I also think that the journey of the soldier or the character wasn't important. It was the places he went to that was important.
Oh yeah, sure.
And the people around him, and like so we see how it was. How people saw the war before they went there, how it was in the war. You see how you get home and try to continue your normal life. You see that. You see the hatefulness from everyone, and the how it doesn't work to live the life you came from.
Yeah.
And then you see the Mexico part, which is the trying to flee from everything, and these important parts, we need to show these parts, and then just so we can follow along, we have this character. But his journey and that character isn't important. It's the places he goes to that is important. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, and I agree to a certain extent that he's like a placeholder for the soldiers. And the places where they went. Yeah, it's not actually a story about him. And I think something that Oliver Stone does a lot, I haven't seen all of his movies, but many of his movies feel a bit messy. Like they're kind of all over the place. And this one in particular, one and Natural Born Killers are very messy movies.
Yeah.
I mean, like once again, to compare this to Platoon, which is very focused on what it's actually about, this one... It starts out like very like unironically like pro-American, almost conservative in how it portrays the 50s, mid to late 50s.
Very much the American dream and the way people even now see how the American dream is supposed to be.
Yeah. And without like making any commentary, it's just a great life.
Yeah.
And then he's like transported to reality because the war isn't this great thing where they protect America. It's hell, like they say in they say that in Platoon, right? War is hell. I think
Yeah,
so.
they say
Well,
they
I
say
say
it
I think
in this one too. So.
yeah, and I think it was Dante. I don't know. Whatever. Um, and then he is returned to this his he returns to America and hoping to continue his life, but it's a very different place now that he's actually living in reality. And yeah, it's a little jarring back and forth. I think that is by design, but it does become a little messy.
Yeah, there's a few cuts in this movie that I was actually laughing because it was
Oh, okay.
I didn't even I don't know if it was bad or it was just surprise, but there was specifically one when he goes to New York to meet the girl, whatever her name is.
Yeah,
After
Kira Sedgwick is the
yeah,
actress. Yeah,
yeah, after the war,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he goes there and talks to her, and then she goes, and then they're at the protest, and
yeah,
then the police attacks, and then they get separated, and he just sits on the lawn like screaming, "Where are you?" And then hard cut to black,
yeah,
and then we're at the bar a year later. We're like,
yeah, yeah.
that was we were in the middle of a very dramatic scene. What happened? It's just not even a fade in music or nothing fancy, just hard cut. And I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the movie. Like there's this like no frills kind of approach to directing. Like the only like technique they use is slow mo, like in a couple of moments. But other than that, it's just like, hey, we're just gonna film what happens.
Yeah.
Especially the scenes in Vietnam, which were filmed in the Philippines. It does not look at all like you think the Vietnam War looked, because it all takes place on like a beach, and usually when you think of the Vietnam War, it's in jungles, and I don't know why they chose that. Maybe that's how it actually looked in real life, but for the audience to because it's based on a true story, so. But for the audience, like connect, like, oh yeah, they're in the Vietnam War. It should have been a jungle. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really like ruin the movie, but it's weird. And a lot of the scenes in Vietnam are all like these like flat shots, just filming what's going on. There's no like trying to make it interesting in any way, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem. That's also again when I'm saying like this is it's a historical record more than a movie.
Yeah.
That it doesn't try to make it interesting at all for the viewer. It's like they don't care about the viewer.
Yeah.
We're gonna show what happened in a way that you can understand what happened, but nothing more, nothing less or nothing more.
Yeah.
Even like the emotional scenes where that was supposed to be emotional, I didn't feel anything because I didn't care about.
Oh.
I thought everything was interesting, but I didn't care about the main character. I didn't care about what's happening, and also he was an asshole throughout. So why should I care? I mean, he even before he went away, he was an asshole. So it's not like he became an asshole because of the war. No, he was an asshole. Now he's a bigger asshole. Now he's an asshole with a reason.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I saw that. I saw that differently. I definitely felt the emotions, especially from Tom Cruise, who did an amazing job, by the way.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised of how good he was.
Yeah, he's really
it's no
good.
secret that I loathe Tom Cruise, but I mean, young Tom Cruise before he decided to be an action star is kind of good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so
But yeah. But I think the whole asshole thing is him, being a typical red-blooded conservative American, which he is.
Yeah.
And I think most of his family is, except for his brother. And him coming back. Yeah, he's still kind of being an asshole, like screaming at his brother, "Love or leave it, just love or leave it." I love that scene because it's just like screaming slogans at each other. That's modern politics for you. him like slowly coming to terms that it isn't um it isn't as clear cut as he thought it was. And yeah, he's still kind of an asshole, but I do sympathize with him. Like in the hospital, yeah, he's like screaming at the nurses and the staff and all, but you kind of understand why. Especially as the movie goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that I sympathize with him and I get it.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel it. It was more logical that I understand what's happening. I understand what he's feeling and why he's feeling that way. Understand why the characters on the opposite spectrum feel like the nurses and the doctors, why they feel like they do.
Yeah.
But I don't really care.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't care right from the beginning. Like I said, it was gradual. And I think that at least for me it worked that way. That they were like building up to like, wow, he's kind of an asshole still. I get it, but he's an asshole. But then the scene with the prostitute in Mexico. Yeah. When because that's like the one thing he's been really afraid of admitting the whole time, that it doesn't actually work. And he actually like accepts that and he cries, which that's I think that's the only time he cries in the movie. He actually like
no, he cries a few more times. He cries when he confesses to the other family at the end.
Oh yeah, at the end. Yeah. Okay.
I think he cries in the hospital too.
He technically, I know he cries when he's like drunk, but it was something about that scene where it felt he was confronted head on by what he was trying to suppress. Yeah, and he couldn't escape it.
He acknowledged that he has issues and that he is vulnerable, and
and that's kind of where the character changes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a way, but not enough. I wouldn't say. I would feel that it was more like, see, he is an asshole. Care about him more like that, because like a few scenes after, he goes straight back to being an asshole.
Well,
like when he meets Willem Dafoe, like a few scenes after that.
Yeah.
And he has like assaulted a prostitute or something.
Yeah.
Because she laughed at him.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise straight up, yeah, fuck everyone in here. I hate everyone. Fuck him. We're leaving. Fuck you. You weren't even involved. You don't even know what happened. You saw your friend come out. He has obviously punched someone. You're like, yeah, they did wrong. Everyone here is an asshole except that guy. Come on.
Well, they're in the same situation.
Yeah, but come on.
I know.
So
He's not a completely sympathetic character, and I think that's good though, because that's like, he shouldn't be like a saint. That wouldn't have worked.
No.
So and I really like that just in movies in general, like when the protagonist isn't like this perfect character. Especially it's been popping up more and more lately. I don't know, have you seen the movie Dragged Across Concrete? It came out like last year, this year.
I don't think
the one where.
Heard of it.
Oh, okay. Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn plays two police officers that are suspended because they use too much violence when apprehending a Mexican American gangster.
No.
Okay, because they're obviously not nice people. They're like homophobic. They're racist. But
perfect for Mel Gibson.
Yes. But the movie, like, really, it doesn't try to make you sympathize with them, but the movie explores how you would be able to sympathize with a person on which you differ so much when it comes to politics and just the way you think. It's really, really interesting like that. And I think it's kind of similar in this one. Like, he's not a person you sympathize with, but you understand him. Ron Kovic in this movie.
Yeah, and also you need to tell this to show you all these facets of being a veteran and the state of America at that point. You need to have a broken person. You can't work if you can't have like a saint go to Mexico to get away I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
No.
So he needs to be broken for it to work.
Yeah.
And I get that, and I respect that, and yeah, and I don't think it's supposed that you should, as you said, understand him, maybe not feel for him, but
Yeah.
understand him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really really interesting part of the movie, and it's made so much better by Tom Cruise's performance. I think this might be one of his better. I mean, like thinking of all the the heavier roles he's played, I think this might be up there. Especially for someone
Yeah.
he was still pretty young. I mean, he was
Mm.
like what, 30? Even that.
Was he even 30?
He's born in 62. So 72, 82. No, he was 27.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seems right. Uh, yeah, definitely, it's up there. It's not his best movie, but it's up there with the best. Um, just quickly, I think I would say his best movie is Interview with the Vampire. I'd say just
Yeah.
acting wise.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I was going to see it, but I
Same,
didn't.
same. And then of course Rain Man. It's not a hard role, but he really sells it, and you really feel for. That's an asshole you feel for.
Yeah. yeah.
Rain Man.
You definitely warm up to him as the movie
Yeah.
goes on. Yeah. But it's that
Oh
kind
no,
of movie.
no! I retract. His best acting role ever is Magnolia. Obviously.
Yeah, that one is really good, but I don't know. I think I
Great in that
prefer
one.
this one.
Really?
Uh,
I mean, Tropic Thunder is also up there with the best
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah. I don't know if I've said this before, but the first time I saw that movie, I didn't know it was Tom Cruise.
Oh, same.
Until it said Tom Cruise, I was like, wait, what? He was in this movie?
I recognize the character. I recognize that it is someone I know
Yeah.
that has a fat suit on with a lot of makeup. But
I didn't even see that.
But I couldn't connect who it was, and it was driving me nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
I know this voice and I know these mannerisms, but who the fuck is it? Yeah, that's also a great point. I mean, maybe the makeup is better than the acting in that one.
I think it's both, but yeah, that's a good one. But I think this one, like now having rewatched it, yeah, for me it's up there.
Yeah, definitely.
I did read though they were, because it's Oliver Stone, they were getting kind of pretentious, and I'm glad they didn't do it. But they actually wanted to like inject him with a nerve agent that made him paralyzed from the waist down, but only temporarily. But they weren't able to find a poison that was like mild enough, so they're like, nah, we're not gonna do that. That was that's such a typical like, oh, I'm really gonna go all in for this role. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
I think that's one of the things that rubs me the wrong way with Oliver Stone. Still, I respect him, as I said, but
Yeah.
he always tries to make his move. He's so pretentious
yeah.
for making so basic movies.
Yeah. He's a try hard.
Yeah, but he goes all in. I'm gonna make the best movie ever. What's gonna be about? Politics. Anything more? No.
No.
Anything like hidden meanings? No.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
also Speaking of that, that's a thing I noticed with this movie. There's no subtext. It's all just. It's really like war is bad. You get it? There's no two ways about it. It's bad. It's like and that's also like I mean I don't like war, but I
What, really?
no it's, yeah.
What a statement!
I know.
Breaking news.
I'm so edgy. I don't like war.
I'm against wars.
But the way
I think wars should stop.
Oh my god. I was gonna. I don't know. I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not gonna make that. Anyway. Yeah. Well, duh. But it's so. There's no nuance to it. It's just, oh, it's bad. Stop it. But it doesn't go into why we go into war. I know it's specifically Vietnam, and it's pretty easy to just say no. It was a bad war. There was no reason for that war to be waged. But so it becomes a commentary on the Vietnam War, which I guess it is, but it doesn't work as a commentary on war in general because there's much more to elaborate on when it comes to different wars or war in general, and therefore I think it feels a little bit limited in its commentary on war, that it's only about the Vietnam War.
I I actually think that First Blood has more subtext than this regarding the Vietnam War.
Yeah, exactly. And how it because that's also like Rambo is kind of an asshole in the beginning. Like
Well,
he doesn't listen to authority. I mean, authority is not being very nice to him, but there's no reason for him to like defy him the way he does. But then, at the end, when he's like shooting up civilian buildings, public buildings, you still sympathize with him because you understand what he has gone through. So and you're right. It's in a way that's a better commentary on war and the Vietnam War than this one. In a way.
in a way, yeah.
This is more detailed. You definitely understand better when you watch this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's far from the best Vietnam movie.
Oh, sure.
It's nothing really special. It's if you want to have like factual events that this is how it was, see this movie. But otherwise, if you want to see a good movie, I mean, Deer Hunter.
Yeah, Deer Hunter.
I don't know if Deer Hunter or Full Metal Jacket is the best Vietnam movie.
I prefer Deer Hunter over those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it also. Why this movie kind of falters a little bit, is that it is sympathetic to the soldiers because the soldiers they're not. I mean, once again, in general, they're not bad guys. They were just sent there thinking they were doing a good thing. It turns out they weren't. But the way they were treated when they came home wasn't fair. And the movie mentions that a little bit, but it kind of quickly moves past that to just be about, oh, war is bad. So I think a little bit more nuance when it comes to each actor in the war would have benefited the movie, and that's also why I think it kind of works as a companion piece or spiritual sequel to Platoon, where you actually do get to know the soldiers, the people that were like fooled into going into this war, and you realize that they are actual humans. They're not just baby killers as they were called. So they work together, but this movie kind of glosses over that part of it.
Yeah, and I think we don't see, as you say, if you see it in together with Platoon, that's a complete movie. But I think we see too little from Vietnam to actually get it.
Yeah.
That's why Deer Hunter works so good. Because if I remember correctly, it's almost exactly 1 hour before, during, and after the war.
Yeah, something.
So 1 hour
like
for
that.
each period. So it's you spend about as much time on every period, before the war, during the war, and after the war, and that's what works. You get the full experience from all of it.
Yeah.
And this is very, I mean, it's 20 minutes something with before the war.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
And then it's maybe like
he gets shot at 40 minutes, so it's like 25 in the war, and then the rest. So the next like 45 to 50 minutes is after the war.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they really like hurry along to get to the post-war stuff, because he just wanted to recreate the protests and all that. I think Oliver Stone was very eager to like say war is bad, Vietnam War is bad. Like, we know, Oliver, we know.
I do think this movie would benefit if you just removed before the war and during the war, and just have it after war, just like in First Blood, that he just returns home.
Yeah.
Or maybe that we start at the hospital, maybe. Of course, it needs a lot of reshoots and recuts. Obviously,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you can't
No,
just recut this movie. It
no.
needs to. But I think if we remove that and then just remove that time from the movie, so it's shorter, I
Yeah.
think I think we would benefit from it. I don't think sure, we get it more that he loses his legs and it's important to him and relationships and so, but I don't think it's needed really.
No, and I mean, I like those parts, but I agree that they are kind of glossed over, and therefore they feel like they don't really fit into the movie.
Mm.
He
And
just put
they don't matter.
yeah, exactly. He just put it in there because we need context to why he
Mm.
is in a wheelchair and why he hates the war. So he's like, let's do this, and I think that's bad because I think it would be interesting to see a more fleshed out story of a typical conservative American going to war and then being disillusioned by the war.
Mm.
To see it from like a more of a right wing perspective, which we usually
Yeah.
don't do. This movie is very left leaning, but to see it
That
from the other side of the political spectrum would be interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely was. It would, but I don't think that's the movie that they are trying to tell here. Because
No, exactly.
the conversion for him from for the war to against the war is really fast.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff where he just defends the war, and shit happens. He defends the war, and then at the last, what, 15 minutes or 20 maybe,
yeah,
he just converts. It's a hard cut to, yeah, now he's against the war. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So the personal journey doesn't matter either.
No,
So,
right, exactly. It doesn't color his opinion in the end. It just now he's against the war because Oliver Stone is against the war.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, third time I'm saying it. If you see it as a historical record, it's a good movie. If you see it as a movie, it's not a good movie.
No.
I'd say.
I
But there's some good acting is in it. There's definitely a lot of good acting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's the strongest thing the strongest point in the whole movie. It's the actors, not just Tom Cruise. Like everyone is great.
Everyone is good.
Even that guy, what's his name? The other guy who survived the war.
That comes to talk to him after the parade.
Yeah.
I don't remember the character. Frank Whaley is the actor.
Yeah, Frank Whaley.
Yeah, he good.
He was really good, and he's not against him, but he usually isn't that good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, and that's also like an interesting thing because since well, specifically him and Tom Cruise, the other ones we don't really see much of except for the guy that opens the burger shop, burger bar, whatever. There's these like young kids. Okay, he was 27, but Tom Cruise didn't look like 27. He looked like he was like 19, 20 maybe. To see them play their older counterparts, it worked better than I thought it would. He looks like both the way he acts and the way they made him up with the mustache and longer hair. He looks like visibly older, and Frank Whaley as well. You can still see that there's a young guy under all that hair, but it just works, and I thought that was really interesting.
I think he kind of weird though, but I thought they made him look too old when he got back from Nam. Like when he comes home out of the car, meets his family for the first time. Because I was like, he looks like he aged like 10 years. It's been like 1 year.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that was mostly like his hair. Because that haircut they gave him, Jesus Christ.
It's like the worst hair throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
It just gets worse. At the end, it looks okay.
Yeah, the longer it gets, the better it looks. Yeah, because it's all like wispy, like an old grandma's hair or something. It looks weird.
And the hairline is like back here.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Well, maybe it's historically accurate. I don't know. I haven't looked at pictures of Ron Kovic.
No.
Oh yeah. Another thing that there's a lot of like things I want to like about this movie that I don't. Not in the same way as The Burbs. Here's more like, oh, I like this. I don't really like it, but I like it. Was the music. It's surprisingly enough, it's John Williams. It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like John Williams at all. And I played a little bit of it in the intro to this stream, the like main theme, that trumpet, that lone trumpet.
No.
That was like, I thought that like theme, which runs throughout the whole movie, is really good. But it doesn't at all sound like John Williams, because at certain points it sounds like a when he's coming home. No, he's going from Mexico to the parents of the guy he killed. Spoilers. It almost sounds like a pop song for a little while. It's like, what is this soundtrack?
Yeah, I mean, soundtrack was weird. I was at the beginning, at least, I was thinking like Sergio Leone, maybe. In some parts.
Yeah, in the 50s, there was a lot of like choirs, like singing in the soundtrack. Yeah.
But I was not impressed. I mean, yeah, the main theme was great, but they overused it too much.
Yeah.
There was like in Nam, like every scene had that. Just every cut, they just started over and said, "Okay, I'm gonna hear the same song again." I mean, it was good the first time, but this is like the fourth time now in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was a really weird edits with when they used actual songs. Like they used American Pie.
Oh yeah, in the hospital.
Yeah, for like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have the money to pay for the entire song.
Yeah, yeah. So I wasn't impressed with the music. I thought it was. I mean, I noticed it, and not in a good way.
Yeah, a thing I thought they were going to make or do was use like songs from his childhood or his youth to like reconnect when he's older. Like they play Moon River when he's at the high school dance, when he actually gets to dance with whatever her name was, Kira Sedgwick, which is like, oh, that's also a thing they should have focused on more. Like, step away from the political stuff and make it about those two characters. It should have been about him as a character and her as a character. But it wasn't.
I gotta say, regarding the sound design, I really like the baby screaming thing.
Yeah.
That they reused at like specific moments to show emotion and show like PTSD.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yes.
Really
that is a really effective way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, clean, effective way.
That's like they do a similar thing in American Sniper. I don't know if you've seen it.
Which movie did you say?
American Sniper.
Oh no, I didn't.
With Bradley Cooper. Okay, it's the same thing because he's. I'm not gonna spoil it then. It's a really good movie. You should check it out.
I'm just so tired of war movies.
Yeah.
I've been tired of war movies for like 10 years now. I don't like war movies anymore.
Well, luckily this is the only one on our list.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do a similar thing where he hears the sound which triggers him in a very similar way a couple of times in the movie. But using like sound as triggers, I thought they were going to use them because they focus a lot on that song, especially in the beginning, and he mentions it later, the Moon River song, but they never use it again. I thought that could have been an interesting way to like reconnect his older self to his new self. But I don't know. What can you do? It's Oliver Stone.
I gotta say, I was surprised that there's so many actors that you know of in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, everywhere.
Especially,
From, like a nurse here and a doctor here and just an extra over here and someone speaking over here. I don't know names of people, but I know these people.
People you recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the guy that plays the I don't know, the main doctor at the hospital. Mm-hmm. It's the warden from oh no, Shawshank Redemption. That guy. Like, I don't know his name, but I've seen him in a bunch of movies and TV shows.
Same with when he's at the protests. Which one is the protest when he gets separated from the girl?
Yeah.
There's this non-vet who is speaking and throwing his medals into the crowd. So I have a Purple
Mm-hmm.
Heart. I don't even care about it.
Yeah.
I see that guy several times in several movies, like in kind of main character roles.
Yeah, and the guy when at the parade in his hometown, the guy that introduces him is a guy
Yeah,
you see in a bunch of movies, and
yeah.
I specifically recognize him from X Files. He's in a scene
All
an
right.
episode.
So yeah, that was interesting. There was so many characters that you recognize.
Yeah, yeah, and Stephen Baldwin is in like one scene.
Oh yeah,
The younger Baldwin brother in the
yeah.
beginning drinking a milkshake. But then the weirdest one was right at the end of the movie. You have there's
Richard Nixon.
well, yeah, yeah, no, but you have Wayne Knight, Newman from Seinfeld, and Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, for like
Two
2
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah, and he doesn't even turn around to show his face. You just see his back. He sees his profile, and then
I know that guy.
yeah, and the guy that pushes his wheelchair is what's he called? John C. McGinley, the mean doctor in Scrubs, and one of the soldiers from Platoon. He's like a Oliver Stone mainstay, but he's also
I didn't see that it was him, but
no,
okay.
yeah, no, because like he's an accomplished actor, but they don't even give him like a close up. He's just in the background. Like, what weird. I know some people do that. Like Christopher Nolan does the same thing. My dad was watching Dark Knight Rises the other day, and I recognized so many like accomplished actors in like these small roles. But
And then the question is, are they accomplished now because of but they weren't then? Was
That's
this like
true.
one of their stepping stones to become an accomplished actor now?
that's true. I mean, specifically like Wayne Knight. I know he became famous with Seinfeld, and this was just before Seinfeld. So, but he is mentioned in the beginning of the movie. His name pops up on the screen like he's going to be a character.
Oh,
Yeah, it says Wayne Knight in the beginning. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he's in half a second of the movie. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know.
yeah, because I guess it looks good on the resume to be an extra or a speaking extra in an Oliver Stone movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotta carry some weight.
yeah, and it is that kind of a movie. And I think that's why they got a lot of actors, even if they weren't famous then. Like, it's a movie you want to be in. It's a movie about America. It's a big like war movie or anti-war movie, and it was a big success when it came out. It wasn't as popular as Platoon, but it was a huge thing, a huge blockbuster when it came out. So it's that kind of movie. Like all the agents were like, "Oh, my guy, he can yeah, Wayne Knight can be in half a second of the movie. Just get him in the movie," because it's that kind of a movie, I think.
And then they agreed on a titular
Oh yeah,
title card.
he has to be in the opening credits, but he's not in the movie. I don't care. It's that kind of a movie. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you compare this with Platoon, because you almost have to,
Yes.
just a few years apart, same director, a lot of
Yeah.
same actors,
Yeah.
same subject matter. Platoon, was that? Do you know if that was marketed as an action movie?
Mm,
It feels like one of those that could be.
kind
I wouldn't
of.
say it actually is an action movie. It has
No.
a lot of action, but it's not
Yeah.
an action movie.
No, it's a war drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I was thinking why if maybe that's why that got more views or sales than this one, because this one is non-marketed as a war movie
That's true.
or an action movie.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. I know the trailers for Platoon really played up. They like to use the scene where Willem Dafoe is shot in the back, though.
Oh yeah,
a lot of that.
The most iconic scene of
Yeah.
like still of the movie. So.
Yeah.
So everything.
But I'm pretty sure they sold it like a war drama more than an
Okay.
action movie. And I know a lot of like trailers from this movie. They used a lot of the Vietnam footage, even though that's not a big part of the actual movie, because he's holding a gun and there's even an explosion. You can sell a movie like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
No, I thought you found something on your screen.
No, I didn't. No, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I was just, I was looking. I was looking at the Platoon. I was just looking at the people in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
I gotta rewatch that movie.
oh, it's really good. Yeah,
I remember it being really good,
it's really good.
and I think it's the movie that I first really started liking Willem Dafoe as an actor, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is a good actor.
I think I saw. I saw No, wait. No, yeah, I saw Spider-Man first. So that's
Yeah.
the. But after that, yeah.
Yeah, me too. But I didn't gain any respect from Spider-Man. I mean,
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I think we've exhausted the topic.
sort of.
Yeah, I think so. I gotta say, so far our celebration of 1989 is the greatest year of all time hasn't gone too well. We've done two movies that were okay. They're good.
But I mean, we got a few good ones.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones coming. But
like Friday the 13th Part 8.
oh yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one. No, but like we said in the last one, this is kind of a like an I don't know how you say it in English. Mjuk start, like an easy start. We're easing into it. We're gonna get to some of the more popular movies later.
I mean, that's weird. A weird context. We're easing in this year with Bored on the 4th of July
with an epic war drama
of 2.5 hours.
Yeah, where they use the word fuck 289 times. I looked that up. They do? Yeah.
Really?
They swear a lot. Yeah, it was mentioned somewhere, like, specifically. The word fuck is used 289 times.
So just what is the best Vietnam movie? Is it Platoon?
No, I don't think
it's Deer Hunter.
I think that's super hard. I think it is. I gotta say Deer Hunter.
Yeah, and do you also count in things that isn't in Vietnam? But for example, I would argue that Taxi Driver is a Vietnam movie.
Sure, he's a Vietnam veteran. I wouldn't count that because he barely mentions war. We understand that he has been affected by the war, but no, I wouldn't count that as a Vietnam.
Because I would say that movie. Taxi Hunter, Taxi Driver, is more what this movie wanted to be. Tell the story of a veteran after the war and how broken he has become.
Yeah.
Or not wanted to be, but could have been.
Yeah.
So I would definitely call it a Vietnam movie.
Okay.
I would call that one the Vietnam movie. Also, First Blood Vietnam movie.
Oh sure, no that is definitely a Vietnam movie.
Yeah.
There's even scenes from like a prison camp in Vietnam. So.
Yeah. Is in the first one?
There's like a short flashback when they're gonna shave him. You see the Vietnam commander holding up a knife to him, and they're even cutting him across the chest.
Right. Also, years since I saw that one.
That's when I rewatch.
Really?
Often.
I think it was seen like twice or something.
What?
I think it's okay, but it's not great. It's not.
Hey now, calm down.
And also, there's like this. It's hard because of the perception of Rambo. It's hard to take it serious.
Oh yeah. He became kind of a schlocky character in the second and third one.
Yeah. And also like people are making fun of him in media all the time, and he's like a caricature of himself or of the character. So it's hard to take the movie seriously.
Yeah.
But I think I need to rewatch some movies, but I think my top Vietnam movie is Full Metal Jackets.
Okay. Yeah, and I would probably say Deer Hunter. Like a top three would be Deer Hunter, Platoon, and probably First Blood.
Not Apocalypse Now.
That one is so. That one only. I think that one uses the Vietnam War more as like a framing device to tell a story about someone going insane.
Fair enough.
I mean, and also I have to admit I'm not the biggest fan of that movie. I think it's very long and very confusing.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, well.
I mean, we've been talking about. I remember we talked about it for like years that I was, because you were buying that Redux, the special super mega edition,
Yeah.
and it was like, we gotta see it. I was no, and still no.
And I gotta say, all those years, I bought that in 2007,
Yeah.
and I watched the Redux version. The Redux is terrible. No one should watch
Yeah.
the Redux.
I actually read that somewhere that there was a video about director's cuts.
H Bomber guy. I saw
Yeah,
that.
right, that one.
His,
Yeah,
Scanline show. Yeah.
yeah. Good episode. Good episode.
Yes,
I'd say.
yes. I'm not a super fan of him, but that video was great.
Yeah, and then also when he mentioned that you should just watch the theatrical version. That's the best version.
Yes. Apocalypse Now theatrical is 100 times better than the Redux. There is a 40-minute scene that has no purpose being in the movie, and it's one scene that's 40 minutes.
Sometimes less is more.
Yes, and that's why we're going to wrap this episode up.
Yes.
Yeah, but what are we doing next week? We're doing UHF, a movie none of us has seen, right?
Nope.
No.
Barely heard of him.
Yeah, me too. But I've heard it's kind of a cult classic in certain circles, so I thought we were going to check that out. Plus, I like Weird Al Yankovic. So
Who doesn't?
yeah,
Who doesn't? Really?
Who doesn't? Yeah. But that's for next week. So thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you liked it. Hit the dislike button if you like war, and leave some constructive criticism in the comments below. But stay tuned. Tomorrow we're releasing the spoiler cast for It. I forgot to do that last week. Lots of things I forgot last week. And like we said, next Monday we're doing a discussion about UHF. It's going to be really interesting to watch a movie I've never seen before and actually talk about it. But that's for next week. So until then, have a good one. Bye.